Hello everybody, it's me, Crunch, Robo Boy from Outer Space, and I love Five Nights at Freddy's, and that's no secret, but there is one game that I believe still has flaws, but in my eyes is one of the best FNAF games. FNAF Sister Location. It was intense, I'd say. It's what I imagine the perfect FNAF game is, at least in my eyes. I like how lore-heavy it is. Of course, other FNAF games are lore-heavy, besides Security Breach, but this one really just tickled my fancy. Really just tickled my fancy, really just tickled my pickle, you know. I shouldn't have said that. It evens out between lore and gameplay. With FNAF 3, it felt very ugly, and the gameplay was really tedious at times, but was extremely lore-heavy. Like, almost just all lore. But then FNAF Security Breach was almost no lore and just all gameplay. Of course, I have no problem with both. They're both great in their own separate ways, but the way Sister Location nails both, we got the Willem Afton name drop, plus we first heard his voice, and like so much more. It dropped the fact that the Bite of 83 and 87 were two different events, and a lot more. And this one actually had voice acting. This one really does move on from the everyday formula of Five Nights at Freddy's and decides to actually make you move around. You can't be entirely mad at the animatronics, since obviously the place they're in isn't exactly cool, since when they're not at their stage, they get fucking shocked, which is a little harsh at their end. The game's really good at keeping you on the edge of your seat. The parts that really stressed me out was Circus Baby's bitty babies, or whatever the fuck they're called. They claw open the weird desk thing with the holes on it or whatever. Didn't seem tough in hindsight, but for around the beginning of the game, this was insane. It's not the longest game out there. I mean, hell, it was only 2.5 hours long. But for the time it really wasn't that bad. It had two endings that were both equally good in its own way. Way more climactic than FNAF Security Breach's endings. Around night 5, you have to do maintenance for Circus Baby, but she overtakes Hand Unit and instructs you to destroy her in the scooping room. But if you're able to achieve a keycard in one of those Circus Baby minigames, you get to go to this little FNAF 1-esque office, where you have to protect yourself from Ed until 6 AM. Obviously a tribute to the other games. The other ending is where you obey Circus Baby and follow her orders, but instead of doing what she said she was gonna do, Instead of doing what she said she was gonna do, she scoops out your insides like some sort of saw thing and sneaks inside of you. At the time, this seems far-fetched, but considering what happens in the books, this is the most normal thing to happen in recent FNAF. Till, of course, they leave his body, sneaking into the sewers, where then it cuts to Fazbear Frights, where Springtrap appears, which again, on my point of lore-heavy, that means that Springtrap is William Afton, who built the animatronics. Anyway, yeah, that's my little thing on how Sister Location is frickin' sweet. Bye.
Robot Boy from Outer Space.